Well, happy Tuesday, and it is Touch Yourself Tuesday with Sherry. Starting off with a little cannabis and a little THC infused coconut oil in my coffee to get myself ready, just to calm down tonight, let my muscles relax, and get ready to touch myself. Thanks for joining me. Are you excited? Because I am. Excuse me. In tonight's episode, we're going to use our hands. And we're going to work on our hands. So what I wanted to talk about, a lot of clients that I work with have issues with their hands possibly hurting, arthritis, okay? Rheumatoid arthritis, gout, lupus, some of those different things that transfer throughout our body that people are in dis-ease with, as well as carpal tunnel, getting into some wrist problems. Possibly you have some elbow problems. Muscles sometimes get hot or sore on the top. Tendons getting into the nerves on the bottom, all the way up into the shoulder. So what I want to talk about is just our natural placement. How functionally are we supposed to move? So what we're going to look at is our arms and our shoulders. And the more that we're sitting at desks or we're looking down, we're taking our body from a position it's supposed to be in to a position it's not supposed to be in. Not only are we moving and pulling our skin suit. I asked us that the other day, if you thought about your body as a skin suit, but that's how I like to think about it. If we were to pull that forward, that's definitely going to stretch. So these muscles are going to be stretched and be very sore back here, while we're going to find tightness and restriction here, where we won't feel the pain here, but we will feel the pain here and possibly in the joints radiating down from there. Also, when we do that, it's cutting off our lung capacity. So it's stopping and inhibiting our ability to breathe. So let's roll it all back, open it all up, roll those shoulders back, and let's talk about just external rotation. If our hand is like this is a natural placement for our hand, thumb out. Rolling the shoulder back and pulling it down. When we get internally rotated, we start to pull the muscles from the back and start to close the muscles in the front. Natural. When we externally rotate, you can see the muscles here get pulled back and the muscles in the back here contract. So when we're sitting at a desk, sitting in your bed, which a lot of people are doing now using their computers, but we're like this. So you can see how my shoulder blade wings, it sticks out. So think about if you were to wear a pair of jeans. That shoulder blade is constantly, or your knee, if you were thinking about your jeans in another place to put a visual there for you, is constantly rubbing on that. What happens when our knee constantly rubs on those jeans? We'll get a rip. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, we can't rip our skin suit. So those muscles get tight. They get stretched out. They hurt. They ache. That's where the pain resides. So what we really want to do is open it up. And what I want to talk about is overhead. So when we get into this position where our elbows are out, if I was to take that up overhead and to extend, it's really hard for me to straighten my elbows. Because why? Again, my muscles are tight back here. Let's set up properly for that, neutral, and see where we can go. This is the reason why people get frozen shoulders. They can't lift up because they're frozen in the back and in the front. So neutral positions are thumbs out towards me, raise them up overhead. Keeping the thumbs behind you is where we want to have our hands when we're overhead. We don't want to be like this. Okay? I can't stretch up all the way. I don't have full range of motion. My muscles are locked up in the back of my back. So look at my elbow where it's placed out. Be like if I was on a desk. We want to turn it neutral and bring it up. So check yourself out like that, all right? And when we're going up over like that, extend the elbow, reach all the way up. We don't want to be like this because you know what happens is our skin suit gets really tight in here. We start having some neck issues, and again, it stops our breathing. Stretch out, reach up. Okay, when we're doing our amazing yoga moves and stretching and breathing, let's think about how our arms are so that we can get the maximum capacity out of our lungs and be able to get the best position out of our posture, because it'll start with our neck and then it starts with the shoulders. So I wanted to talk about our hands and touching ourselves, but I have to talk about that first so you understand a few things. This is one bone. This is two bones, right? This is a bunch of bones. So if this one bone gets locked in the wrong position, which is out, these two bones can rotate. But over time of being in the wrong position and doing the movement over and over and over again wrong, these bones will stop moving. And if we're developing the muscles in here or repetitive movement, we will stop getting the rotation between those two bones. When we stop getting the rotation between those two bones, our thumb and our wrist do not work properly. I'm going to do this a close-up here so you can see. When we start to get carpal tunnel, or a lot of people that are on mouse right now, just a lot of people in general I'm seeing, our thumbs are starting to look like this. Can you see how that is? If I was to stretch it out. So now when I turn it around, I want you to see. See how this should be nice and flat, open. When we start getting into that position where the bones are not rotating because we're not moving correctly at the shoulder, this is what happens to our thumb. Woo! Where the hell did it go? Hey thumb, where are you? Oh. So when we have carpal tunnel surgery, what they do is just cut the tendon and it still doesn't go back to where it's supposed to be. So what I want you to do is touch yourself a lot with your hands. And let's get into opening our palms. You're gonna love me for it. If you have any pain, any arthritis in your hand, okay, I speak from experience. Fibromyalgia and my arthritis run in my family. My hands have been bothering me for years. I work on them constantly, so I know what's working and what doesn't work. And what I know is that this shit works. So what we're gonna do is just start off with a hand. We're gonna take a golf ball and we're just gonna roll it around. I'm on the carpet, so you can do it on the carpet or you can do it on a table. You can do it on your lap if you'd like. But I want you to get into show you backwards here, into this area and really pull your thumb out. Use your other hand and get in there. That's all right if it hurts. Get in there. Keep going back and forth and work on getting the biggest L as wide open as you can get on that hand. And then you want to get in, run all the way down from here to through each finger. And again, it hurts. Pull those fingers back. Stretch that out. Stretch and mobilize. Who knew touching yourself was going to feel so bad? What we're doing while we're doing this is getting blood to the area too that doesn't get a good blood flow. Our hands get really stagnant. It's a constant movement that we do, and I just feel like our hands get stale. So let's get some real good movement and blood, loosen all that up. Just keep rolling it. I'd suggest having this at a desk if you work at a desk. If you work with your hands at all, do it when you come home, before you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning. You will be so happy that you did. Loosen that up. Get in, massage your fingers and rotate around each joint. Go back and forth. Okay? Can get some lotion on. Do it. Get some good CBD lotion if you want. Just some coconut oil works very well for massage. And you can use your own hand, just twisting it back and forth. You just want to go around every knuckle, all the way down your finger on the front and back. Work it around, twist it around. Okay? Then what we're going to do, we'll put our hands down. Okay, so the fingers are facing away from you. And then we're going to take our golf ball and we're going to run down the front of our hand, all the way into the inside of the wrist where that thumb's at. And then we're gonna roll it all on the top of our hands. This might be a little bit sensitive for you, so just do it as much as you feel comfortable. Again, it is gonna hurt, but that's okay. Get some blood in there. Work on your breath. Alrighty. Just really wanna work on using tools to be able to loosen up the muscles and get in and around those joints in our hands. I have this nifty little back scratcher that I like to use. You could use a pen, something if you're at your desk. Sometimes you can just sit and get into the palm of your hand. I like to run it all the way down, especially in between our fingers. We get real tight. Go over the top of it. Run it all the way down in between those fingers. I like to use tools because my other hand gets tired. And now in our thumb area, really work on getting it. You can, if I get a little bit closer here, see how my thumb's like white right here and pink up here. This is where I really want to just get in and get some blood. It's super tight here. And you'll see white in your hands where it's real tight. Make that white part pink. So I go around all of my fingers. Now I'm going to get a little more aggressive. This might be too much for you, but if you got muscle in your hands or you lift and your hands are just tight and you don't have any knee problems, I'm going to go a little hardcore right now because this is my favorite way to do it. So you're going to go right over the fingers, right over the knuckles. You know what? I tell you this hurts, but you know what I tell you hurts more? Is when my finger is out of alignment and it just hurt. The knuckle is swollen. Then stuff can attack that joint. So these muscles get tight and tendons get tight around our fingers from repetitive movement. They pull our joint out of whack. I don't know if I can say alignment. I don't have any medical background to use that. But what I do know, because I've worked on many people's hands and my own, that when these muscles get tight, they pull our parts of our fingers or the joints in an incorrect position. And then when that happens, if it never gets fixed, the other side of the joint stays vulnerable to swelling, irritation, pinching the nerve, all those good old autoimmune things that they claim that go along with it. Oh God, it hurts. up in here on my knuckles. I got a few that are really trying to get all distorted on me, and I'm not gonna let it happen. I'm gonna keep eating clean. White sugars attack the joints, gluten swell them. Get that shit out of your diet. All right, really get some blood into those fingers. Run it all the way down here, and then you can get all the way into your forearm. I really like this tool. This back scratching tool is fabulous. Get all the way in there. Other thing, if you got tools and you just want to use a tool and you don't want to go buy a tool, screwdriver, you could hold the handle or the point where you use a screwdriver and use the handle. This all feels great. Getting around that joint. Then what happens when we can free up that thumb, this can rotate. I can get these two bones to rotate for me, which allows movement at my elbow, correct movement, up into my shoulder, which allows my shoulder to move freely, for me to go up overhead, for me to have full range of motion, to reach out and retract, okay? A little bit about our hands. Now, the very last thing I want to show you about it, because I think it's one of my favorites, is I like to use my weight on my hand on my knee. So I just put my hand flat like this, and it seems, and again, you can use some coconut oil if you're at home. You put your shorts or whatever you feel comfortable touching yourself on, in, I should say, and just get in there and smash that hand. See how I got it? I go back and forth. This part here is like one of my favorites to do with my knee, but I get it in here behind my thumb, and then I roll. See if you can see. I roll my weight into my thumb to roll my weight out, rolling that thumb out. And then I work all the way across it, all the way down to my fingertips. Once I get into my fingertips, I start to pull, create some space in my joints and my fingers. Rotate that arm back and forth, loosen up all the way down to the fingertip. Ooh. Out by that pinky and ring finger, very commonly get very tight. Right? And I do that on both hands. I don't give you a lot of direction on it because everybody feels different. These are all just techniques and things that you can do to be able to help yourself, to be able to help your hands feel better. I love doing these things before I lift so that when I'm going to lift, I have maximum grip strength while I'm lifting. Pull-ups, all kinds of different things. So when we start losing this